Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Let's bring in the former spokesperson of the Nigerian Army, also former Director, Defense Information, retired Major General Chris Olukolade, for more on the development we're monitoring. Major General, thanks for joining us. This year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day has now been rebranded as Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day to highlight the dual purposes, celebrating the living personnel and also honoring fallen heroes. What message would you say this is sending about the evolving role of the military in Nigeria?
Well, thank you for having me. And in response to that question, I think it's a further encouragement to the serving personnel and the veterans who are colleagues of the fallen heroes to see that the nation still appreciates the military and does everything necessary to encourage those who are their survivors, either as families or as friends. For those of us who are survivors and their colleagues, we see this as commendable in the sense that it eases the trauma of losing our colleagues whom we trained together, losing our friends, our brothers and sisters, and yet continuing in service of the nation. And those who are still in service must be encouraged by this gesture. So the change or the sustaining the trend of celebration is very much a welcome idea.
Absolutely. Major General, we still report widespread concerns about the welfare of retired officers and families of fallen heroes, with some even saying benefits don't reach them. From your perspective, how well is government supporting both serving and retired personnel?
Generally, the efforts are, will I say incremental, in the sense that there have been a lot of reaction to encourage the veterans. Most of the time it is in response to agitations, which I think should not be the case. But in fairness, it has been regular improvement and gradual reduction in the need to agitate or to call for, the entitlements of this personnel. It seems that there's some conscious effort to address the concerns, particularly in the payment and, sustenance of the normal expectations of veterans or retired people in terms of their entitlement after leaving service, and also in the care for the families of the fallen heroes. The improvement can continue, and I know that if it is sustained, we'll get to a point that everybody will be satisfied.
Break this down for us so we have an idea of what the current status is. As a retired Major General yourself, can you speak candidly on whether your own welfare is being taken care of and how it compares to what lower ranked retirees experience?
Well, I'm just hearing you faintly, but I will try to respond to the module I heard from you. It is that the efforts, like I said earlier, ought to be sustained and in a more commendable way. We believe that, for instance, most of this is anchored on the activities of the Ministry of Defense, whose major role is to take care of the welfare and operations of the service personnel and connect them with the government. With the recent developments in the ministry, we believe that there will be an improvement, and there are already indications in that regard. More so as the minister, having passed through all the positions in the military, knows and understands both the psychology of serving people and the retired. And I know that this will be of great help to government in meeting the needs and addressing the concerns of both the serving and the retired personnel. So this celebration itself, you will see that this year, it appears that there's less complaints on the part of service personnel, maybe an indication of improving situation, which we believe will be sustained.
It sounds like you're saying there is improvement, noticeable improvement. You could not hear me earlier. I wanted to hear specifically from you as a retiree, if you can say that personally things are also getting better based on the things you receive, you know, as a retired soldier. But how much of the quality of welfare impacts directly on the armed forces, especially when you consider their onslaught against insurgency and terrorism as we know it today?
Especially in recent times, there has been very encouraging improvement, and quite often makes us proud of the approach to the operations, in the sense that if we look at the task that the armed forces have been saddled with lately, it's enormous indeed. And the capacity to cope seems to be improving on a regular basis, and the recent developments has enhanced that. And we have reasons to believe that the successes in operations will continue to enhance the nation's morale as a whole, to believe that their armed forces are up and doing and capable of delivering the results expected in terms of securing the nation, and then curtailing the security menace that is everywhere. There are clearly improving efforts in managing the situation, and like I said, I'm optimistic. I have reason to be optimistic, like many of our colleagues. From what was the performance we note lately, it seems that the effect of improved management of the military is showing in the field.
What are your thoughts on our cooperation with international community, especially the U.S. strikes reported in Sokoto recently? Are there concerns, you know, from military echelon about the kind of influence that countries like U.S. have in our onslaught against insurgency? Do you believe it is sustainable, and what role do you think we should be playing now?
Well, this what I call a partnership or relationship is not that new, in the sense that there has always been efforts to collaborate. More so as the situation being managed is global. Terrorism is a global crime, and there's nothing out of place to get support that can address the situation. And then if a country offers to support us, why not? And previously, like I said, there have been different ways of relationship. You will recall that at a particular time, at least in the diplomatic circles, the concern had been some unnecessary accusation of human rights abuses in the course of our efforts to tackle insecurity. We are no more operating, we are no more, performing in that kind of atmosphere. We are now in an atmosphere where they are offering direct effort to support our efforts locally. And that is, most welcome, and we just hope that it will be sustained in a way that will continue to respect and take into cognizance the capacity of the nation and its forces to tackle the security situation. So it's in this regard, it is not out of place, and I think it should be welcomed and encouraged for as long as it's getting us the required result.
A former spokesman of the Nigerian military, retired Major General Chris Olukolade, thank you for sharing your insight on the news tonight.
Thank you so very much.